The glass and steel jungle hummed with activity. Phones trilled, keyboards clicked, ambition hung heavy in the air, a palpable presence in the corporate offices of Innovatech. This was a company at the forefront of its industry, a titan built on innovation and drive. Yet beneath the veneer of success, a different story unfolded. One of power struggles, hidden agendas, and a battle for the soul of the company.
Walking through the office. Just another day at Innovatech. Time to make a difference.
Arya strode through the office, his steps purposeful, his gaze clear. A young executive, he represented the new blood of Innovatech. His rise through the ranks was a testament to his sharp intellect and tireless work ethic. But more than that, Arya possessed an unwavering moral compass. He believed in doing right by the work, by the team, by the very principles upon which Innovatech was founded. However, not everyone shared Arya's ideals. In the sprawling corner office overlooking the city below sat Vikram. A seasoned executive, Vikram had been with Innovatech since its nascent stages. He had tasted power and craved more. Vikram viewed the corporate world as a chessboard, and he, the grandmaster, manipulating pieces to his advantage, consequences be damned. Vikram saw Arya's growing influence as a threat, a challenge to his carefully constructed empire within Innovatech. This young idealist, with his unwavering ethics, represented everything Vikram sought to control. The clash between them was inevitable. It was a clash of ideologies, a silent battle declared within the sterile walls of Innovatech.
Thinking, Arya, you think you can change the game? We'll see about that.
The tension between Arya and Vikram was a silent hum in the office, a subtle shift in the atmosphere that not everyone could perceive. But for those who worked closely with them, the tension was as tangible as the glass walls that enclosed their workspace. It was in the curt nods at the coffee machine, the averted gazes in the elevator, the forced smiles at company gatherings.
Smiling. Arya, my boy, you're doing excellent work. Vikram is impressed. Cautious. Thank you, Rakesh. I'm just trying to do my best for Innovatech. Chuckling. Of course, of course. But you know how it is, this corporate world. It's not enough to be good. You have to play the game.
One afternoon, Arya found himself alone in the hallway with Rakesh, the head of HR. A thin man with a perpetually ingratiating smile, Rakesh was known for his knack for office politics. He was Vikram's confidant, his eyes and ears within the company. Rakesh's words echoed in Arya's mind. He knew what Rakesh meant. Vikram used information as a weapon. Arya believed hard work would speak for itself. His suspicions were confirmed when Vikram called him in.
Arya, there's a new project. I'm putting you in charge.
Arya felt pride mixed with apprehension. The stage was set. As Arya delved deeper into the project, he realized it was more complex than he had initially anticipated. The deadlines were tight, the resources limited, and the pressure immense. Vikram, however, was always present, offering his support and guidance, his presence a constant reminder of the stakes involved.
Sighs. This is tougher than I thought.
One evening, as Arya was working late, Meera, a colleague and confidant, stopped by his desk. Meera was a bright, dedicated employee, known for her integrity and sharp wit. She had become a close friend to Arya, someone he could trust in the increasingly murky waters of Innovatech.
Arya, be careful. This project, it's a setup. Vikram is using you.
Arya looked at Meera, his heart sinking. He had suspected as much, but hearing it out loud from someone he trusted confirmed his worst fears. He was a pawn in Vikram's game, a means to an end. But what was the end game?
I've heard whispers. Vikram plans to sabotage the project and blame you for its failure. He wants to discredit you, to get you out of his way. Whispering. I knew it. But hearing it from you, Meera, makes it so real.
Weeks turned into months. The pressure mounted. Arya, working tirelessly, poured his heart and soul into the project. His team, inspired by his dedication, rallied around him. The day of the project presentation arrived. Top executives, stakeholders, and even members of the board were present. Arya could feel the weight of expectation on his shoulders. The presentation began. Arya, armed with data, projections, and a deep understanding of the project, presented their findings with confidence and clarity. He outlined the challenges, the solutions, and the potential impact on Innovatech's future. The room listened, captivated by his passion and the sheer brilliance of his work.
And with these solutions, we can ensure a sustainable and profitable future for Innovatech.
As Arya neared the end of his presentation, Mira, a key member of his team, took the stage. She was to present the financial projections, the numbers that would underpin the feasibility of the entire project. Mira, usually confident and articulate, seemed flustered, her hands trembling slightly as she reached for the microphone.
The numbers, there seems to be a discrepancy.
The air crackled with tension. Vikram, sensing an opportunity, leaned forward, his eyes gleaming.
A discrepancy? What kind of discrepancy, Mira? This is a serious matter.
The room fell silent, all eyes on Mira as the weight of Vikram's words hung in the air. Mira, flustered and confused, tried to explain, but the words caught in her throat. The data on the screen behind her, the culmination of months of work, was gone, replaced by a message that simply read, "Error."
What just happened?
The room erupted in murmurs. Vikram's supporters, strategically placed throughout the audience, seized the opportunity, their whispers turning into accusations.
Sabotage! Incompetence!
The whispers grew louder, feeding off each other, creating a cacophony of doubt and suspicion. Arya, witnessing the orchestrated attack on Mira, felt a surge of anger. He knew with a sickening certainty that this was Vikram's doing, a carefully planned maneuver to discredit them both.
Arya, please.
Mira, humiliated and on the verge of tears, looked at Arya, her eyes pleading for help. And in that moment, something within Arya snapped. He had played by the rules, had believed in the system, but no more. He would not stand by and watch as Mira, his friend, his colleague, was sacrificed at the altar of Vikram's ambition.
Enough!
Arya stepped forward, his voice calm but firm, cutting through the murmuring crowd. The room fell silent. All eyes turned to Arya.
This is not a discrepancy. This is sabotage. A deliberate attempt to undermine our project, to discredit our team.
He turned to Mira, offering her a reassuring nod.
Don't worry, Mira. I have backups of all the data. We'll have this sorted out in a matter of minutes.
Arya's words hung in the air, a direct challenge to Vikram's authority. The room held its breath, witnessing the beginning of a battle not just for a project, but for the soul of Innovatech. The conference room, moments ago a cauldron of judgment and accusation, now held a stunned silence. All eyes were on Arya, his quiet defiance echoing in the air. He stood tall, his gaze unwavering, a stark contrast to the slumped figure of Vikram, whose carefully constructed facade had crumbled. The silence stretched, thick with unspoken tension.
Mira.
Then Arya did something unexpected. He turned away from the stunned faces of the executives and walked towards Mira. She stood frozen, still reeling from the public humiliation, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and gratitude. Arya placed a reassuring hand on her arm, his touch a silent promise of support and protection.
It's all right, I've got you.
In that moment, as Arya looked into Mira's tear-filled eyes, he made a silent vow. He would not let this stand. He would fight for justice, for Mira, for the very soul of Innovatech, which he believed was being corrupted by Vikram's ambition. The presentation resumed, but the atmosphere had shifted. Arya, armed with his backups, methodically dismantled Vikram's sabotage attempt, exposing his lies and manipulations.
The data speaks for itself, revealing the truth behind Vikram's carefully constructed facade.
The board members, initially skeptical, were now forced to confront the reality of Vikram's actions. The whispers, once fueled by doubt and suspicion, now carried a different tone, one of disbelief, of anger, of a growing realization that they had been misled.
As I spoke, I felt a strange sense of calm descend upon me. It was as if a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. I was no longer fighting just for myself or Mira, but for something much larger, for the principles of integrity and fairness that I believed should be the foundation of any organization.
Vikram, his face pale, tried to regain control of the narrative, but his words rang hollow. The damage was done. The trust, carefully cultivated over years, had been shattered. He had underestimated Arya, his resolve, and his unwavering belief in doing what was right. The air within Innovatech was thick with tension. The silence after the disastrous presentation was heavy. Vikram retreated to his corner office, licking his wounds. But Vikram was not a man to be easily defeated. He would not go down without a fight.
Shiv, I need you here now.
Shiv was a complex figure within Innovatech. Close friends with Arya since their early days, he was bound to Vikram by a debt of gratitude.
Shiv, we need to talk.
Shiv, startled, looked up from his coffee, his face etched with worry. He had been expecting this confrontation, dreading it even. He knew what was coming, knew that he was caught in a crossfire of loyalties.
Arya,
Shiv stammered, unable to meet Arya's gaze.
Shiv, you know this isn't right. What Vikram is doing, what he's turning Innovatech into, it's wrong. And he's using you, Shiv. He's using your loyalty against you.
Shiv remained silent, his gaze fixed on his coffee cup. He knew Arya was right. He had seen the changes in Vikram, the growing ruthlessness, the willingness to sacrifice anyone and anything in his pursuit of power. But the debt of gratitude, the years of loyalty, weighed heavily on him.
Shiv, remember who you are. Remember the values we talked about, the kind of company we wanted to build. This isn't it. This isn't us.
Arya placed a hand on Shiv's arm, his touch conveying years of friendship, of shared dreams and aspirations. Shiv's silence stretched, punctuated by the clatter of the barista frothing milk behind the counter. In his mind, a battle raged. Loyalty to Vikram warred with his conscience, with the values he held dear.
Pause. Deep breath. You're right, Arya. I was wrong. I let my loyalty blind me, but no more. I'm with you. Let's take him down.
He looked at Arya, his friend, his confidant, his face etched with concern and a hint of betrayal. And in that moment, something shifted within Shiv. He realized that his loyalty to Vikram had blinded him, had led him down a path he never intended to tread. He had allowed himself to be manipulated, to be used as a pawn in Vikram's game of power. Taking a deep breath, Shiv finally spoke, his voice firm, resolute. With Shiv on his side, Arya knew the tide was turning. They had the evidence of Vikram's sabotage, and now they had the support of someone Vikram trusted, someone who could expose his manipulations from within.
Relieved sigh. Thank you, Shiv. Together, we can do this.
They took their evidence to the board, laying bare Vikram's web of deceit, his unethical practices, and the toxic culture he had fostered within Innovatech. The board, initially hesitant to act against Vikram, was left with no choice. The evidence was overwhelming, the testimonies damning. Vikram, stripped of his authority, his reputation in tatters, was left with nothing but the consequences of his actions. He had played the game of power and lost.
Reflective tone. It's over. We did it.
His fall was swift and brutal, a cautionary tale whispered in the corridors of Innovatech, a reminder that integrity and ethics ultimately trump ambition and greed. With Vikram gone, a new chapter began for Innovatech. The air, once thick with suspicion and fear, now buzzed with creativity and collaboration.
Defeated Tonai. I never thought it would end like this.
Arya, hailed as a hero, refused the accolades, choosing instead to focus on rebuilding the company's foundation, on creating a culture of transparency and ethical conduct. He knew that the battle for Innovatech's soul was not over, but he was confident that together they could build a company worthy of their dreams, a company where integrity and innovation went hand in hand.
Hopeful tone. Let's make Innovatech a place we can all be proud of.
And so, with renewed purpose and a united team, Innovatech embarked on a journey towards a brighter, more ethical future. The battle for Innovatech raged not only in boardrooms and presentations, but also within the soul of Arya. Every decision, every confrontation, every victory and setback triggered a whirlwind of emotions. Doubt gnawed at him, whispering insidious suggestions of failure and despair. Fear, cold and calculating, painted bleak pictures of the future. This was Dhritarashtra, the embodiment of Arya's ignorance and self-doubt, a powerful force threatening to cripple his resolve.
Why this fight, Arya? Is it for justice, for Mira, for Innovatech? Or is it for yourself? To prove your worth, to silence your own doubts.
Yet amidst the turmoil, another voice emerged, Sanjay, the voice of introspection and self-awareness. Sanjay did not offer easy answers or false reassurances. Instead, he held up a mirror to Arya's soul, forcing him to confront his weaknesses, his fears, and the consequences of his actions. Sanjay was the relentless questioner, pushing Arya to delve deeper, to understand the motivations behind his actions, the true nature of the battle he was fighting. These questions, though uncomfortable, were necessary. They forced Arya to confront the darkness within himself, the ambition, the fear of failure, the desire for validation that lurked beneath his noble intentions. Throughout the struggle, Dhritarashtra clung to the comfort of denial. He whispered justifications for Vikram's actions, rationalized Arya's compromises, and magnified the risks of challenging the status quo.
Why risk everything, Arya? Why not play the game?
But Sanjay, the voice of truth, reminded Arya of his principles and the leader he aspired to be. He pointed out the long-term consequences of inaction. Slowly, the veil of ignorance began to lift. Arya saw Vikram's actions for what they were and realized true strength lay in upholding integrity. He fought for what was right, even when it was difficult and lonely. As the battle for Innovatech climaxed, Arya fought for his soul and the leader he wanted to become. The dust settled, leaving Innovatech bathed in the warm glow of a new dawn. The air, once heavy with suspicion and fear, now hummed with a renewed sense of purpose. The departure of Vikram, his reign of manipulation and deceit brought to an abrupt end, had ushered in a wave of change, a cleansing of the corporate soul. Arya, his name now synonymous with integrity and courage, found himself at the helm of a transformed company. The once sterile boardroom where power plays had been staged and ambitions ruthlessly pursued was now a space for open dialogue and collaborative decision-making. Gone were the whispers and veiled threats, replaced by the lively exchange of ideas and a shared commitment to a common goal. The transformation was not merely cosmetic, it ran deep, a testament to the enduring power of Dharma, of righteousness prevailing even in the face of overwhelming odds.
He understood that the battle for Innovatech's soul was not a singular event, but an ongoing process, a commitment to upholding the values that had been so nearly extinguished. He knew that the seeds of greed and ambition could easily take root again if left unchecked.
As Arya's journey with Innovatech comes to a close, we are reminded of the power of integrity, transparency, and shared values. Arya's leadership has not only transformed a company, but also left a lasting impact on everyone involved. The teachings of the Gita, with their timeless wisdom, have guided Arya and his team to achieve the right outcomes, both within and beyond the corporate battlefield. The battle within, the fiercest of all, defines our very essence and shapes our destiny. Conquering our inner demons paves the way for a brighter future, where the true triumph of the human spirit is realized. Reflect on the teachings of the Gita and apply its wisdom in your daily life. Let its timeless guidance lead you to a life of integrity and purpose. This is the true triumph of the human spirit. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this story impactful, please subscribe to our channel and share this video. Your support helps us continue to bring meaningful content to you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on LinkedIn for more updates. Follow us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content. Follow us on TikTok for more exciting content, like our page on Facebook to stay updated.